YouTube family, what is going on? Welcome so much to the channel. I am Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we are looking at the weekly astrology for the week of April 3rd. Happy April to everyone. Moving till the 9th. So I dropped the ball. I didn't do a astrology reading last week. I apologize. I'm sure you guys navigated through pretty okay, right? You know, Aries season is in full swing. We can kind of feel that energy, that vibe, you know, starting to rise. Aries is ruled by fire, so there's just a lot more momentum. There's a lot more action happening. It's when we plant our seeds. It's a lot of the things that we've been reflecting over, hibernating through over the winter months, and now they're kind of like ready to come to life. It's a really exciting time of year, right? The hustle and the bustle of everything. So we do have a couple transits this week. You know, it starts off kind of as a really nice, low-key week. Obviously, this is dependent on what your schedule is, but in terms of transits, in terms of the way the planets are aligning, there's more favorable influence coming through with the Sun, Chiron, and Jupiter all on top of each other. They really kind of give this element that the more we align with ourselves, listen to our wants and needs, the better we treat ourselves, self-love, self-care, etc., the better things are going to get, you know. We just have to be willing to be honest and, you know, just and vulnerable about what's happening in our life, especially with ourselves, right? Aries is the season of self. So great time to do those things that I listed. It's hard though, because there's still a lot of feelings and emotions around what is happening. We see that with the South Node in Scorpio. It kind of brings up our bad behaviors or knee-jerk reactions, the things that we gravitate towards as coping mechanisms or keeping us comfortable, etc. So just keep an eye on that. Saturn just moved into Pisces, and that really talks about how we are going to be challenged, especially on the emotional front. We all have dreams, goals, desires, what we want to manifest, see coming around in our life. And our ability to put it into practice is reliant upon, you know, how chaotic, how messy our life is, whether we can be a stable, grounded individual, you know, or we're letting our emotions kind of take us all over the place. And no shade to emotions. I love them. They're a great thing. But they also can get the best of us at times, right? I'm sure we've all been in situations where we wish we wouldn't have acted, shown up in a certain way, etc. Saturn in Pisces is teaching us those lessons for the value of the lesson. And it's coming through the other monumental point that that is great too. I need to do a separate video on this, is that Pluto moved into Aquarius. So the changes that we need to be making are more off the beaten path, not what we would normally do, right? We kind of have to diversify ourselves, try new people, places, and things, etc. in order to kind of like broaden our horizons, our focus, etc. It's not easy to do, right? Like I said, that South Node in Scorpio really speaks to the want, the desire, the apathy to stay comfortable. And depending on how this shows up in your chart will dictate where you're seeing this stuff play out. It's not all a crapshoot though. Like I said, the more we focus on ourselves, giving ourselves that love and care, the better we're gonna feel, right? Taurus energy is really bringing us a lot of favor and abundance. It has Uranus is in Taurus right now, which is that principle of Aquarius, like I was talking about. the more we become inventive with our environment, try new ways of doing things, the more it's going to be honored. Our South Node and Venus are also in Taurus right now, and those are helping us dive into our passions, love what we're doing, and communicating what our wants and needs are as well. Again, it's been an emotional season. A lot is coming to the surface. The more balanced we can stay, as in anything, like the better it's going to be for us. Oops. I just lost my spot. Hold on a second, guys. Actually, I'm going to do this. Maybe that was a blessing in disguise, right? So during this time, we're also building up to the full moon. The full moon is not until April 6th. I will do a separate video around that. The full moon is in Libra, it is kind of, hold on a second, guys. I lost my place. It's bringing balance into everything, right? So it's a heavy, heavy focus on us being able to connect with what we authentically want. What do I mean? It's like not buying into the superficial things that we think are going to make us happy, right? The codependencies, the toxic relationships, the BS, all that does is really clog us or block us from having what we want. And instinctually, we know the choices that we need to make. But the hard part is they have to come from that grounded space. And that's what that full moon is telling us. The sun is in Aries, so the full moon is in Libra, which is the dichotomy of self versus partnership. The way that we show up for ourselves, take care of ourselves, is also reflected in our partnerships, right? And that is the law of attraction. What we're putting out there, etc., we're going to get back towards us. Mercury and Venus play a heavy role in this full moon as well. So a lot about how we communicate, our relationships, love relationships specifically, always come into heavy focus during the full moons. Like I said, I'll try to put a video up in the next couple days that will give you a little more specifications around that. But what I see, like energetically, evolutionary, is we're actually, there really is that overall value of letting go of the stuff that just isn't working for ourselves anymore. And the more we are honest and continue to plug away at that, the more we're going to see these rewards and blessings come in. It's rebellion, but in a very sensible way, if that makes sense. So the energy continues the same. I think there's going to be a strong need to be accepted, loved, heard, valued, especially around the full moon. So keep an eye on that. Venus really maximizes itself. This is a really good time to invest in your career, finances, money. Obviously I don't mean as much about financial investments, more energetic investments, right? Because the full moon, we can do things based off of a whim, a fancy, heightened emotion, etc. So we want to make sure that the energy that we're putting towards our money, our finances, connects with our, love and our passion for what we're doing. That's actually going to help us feel a lot more stable and abundant, which is really great. What else? So, like I said, a lot of focus, again, it's that reminder. I think I've said this a bajillion times about the Aries season. It is that overemphasis on ourself. We need to be mindful that we are listening to our intuition in a place, like I said, of what we authentically want, not as much from our ego. It's actually helping us seek out, communicate, align better with the positive things. It's difficult, right? Because we have to unlearn patterns of behavior or ways that we are used to being in life. But the more we do it, like I was saying earlier, with that Jupiter conjunct the sun and Chiron, is it will bring about our blessings. Jupiter is our luck, our abundance. You know, like if you're doing the work, it's a good time to just like have some fun with it. Maybe play the lottery or, you know, kind of, I mean, I'm not promoting gambling, healthy gambling, I should say, you know, but again, it kind of goes back to that investment into an energetic investment specifically into our finances, our stability, our career. And maybe this is even, you know, thoughts around starting a side hustle, new business, etc. This is a good energy to kind of make things happen. And with that Saturn in Pisces, that really helps us see what doesn't feel right? What is not working? What is actually just kind of more of a thorn in our side? That's the place that we have to be a little bit more honest with ourselves and come from that space of integrity. It might feel a little bit rebellious. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable. But that's the nature of the beast. And Black Moon Lilith is really going to make sure that if you're saying, hey, I want this thing, I want this relationship to work better, I want to make more money, I want, you know, whatever it is, that you are putting your money where your mouth is. You know, you're having to work for it, right? And I'm sure you can understand that, identify, relate to the places you've had to put in your time, right? Into whatever it is. Like I said, whether it's relationship or, you know, community, family, money, career, whatever it is that you're focusing on, a hobby, new beginnings, going back to school, switching careers, switching jobs, showing up differently for yourself and in your life, right? So, you know, I feel like we're kind of on either side of the fence. There's a lot of distributed energy, like everything kind of has a balance in it right now. It's all about what we want to kind of dive into. Like, for instance, like all the elements on the 7th of April are balanced, you know, and when we're in that space, it's positive, it's good fortune. We just have to, and that is that full moon energy. We just have to make sure that we're using it, you know, in the most appropriate way. It feels like a really nice week. I feel like it's well deserved as well after a lot of stress, after a lot of, you know, just kind of difficulty. Excuse me. These first few months have been a little bit, you know, challenging, right? There's been a lot of, just a lot, it's not bad chaos. I mean, I think it all depends on where you're at, you know, what you have going on, how much is shifting and evolving in your world. But I'm hearing this message of, you know, doing the work, putting the time and the energy in is actually like a positive thing. There's a lot that's being healed, and I feel like you're gonna see on the other side that it was all worth it, right? Healing is not easy. It's not hard to go after what we want. There's a lot of naysayers, there's a lot of blocks, obstacles, but that's that evolution. Yeah, putting yourself out front and center, putting yourself first, not being afraid of the limelight, of your own limelight, you know. We're all individuals, we're all unique, we all have our own expression. I like to look at it, yeah, there's that full moon, baby. Both of those, actually no, but you know, it really is this expansive energy where we have to me, the full moon is always weathering the balance, right? Things are gonna feel amplified, they're gonna feel difficult at times, overwhelming. But when we ground into ourselves, take a moment, take a deep breath. What is mine? What is everyone else's? And how do I want to show up in this thing? Then you make your steps. It is work, right? Because it does make you take a step back, reflect. Capricorn is earth energy, grounding energy, just like I talked about, but it's the hard work, you know? We can all justify this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, it's how we feel about ourselves. Cancer is love, it's emotion, it's nurture, mama love, etc. And if we don't feel good about who we are, it's going to reflect and emanate in our life. So granted, this is just for the next week. Like I said, stay tuned for that full moon video. I'll try to get it up sooner than later. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope this reading helped give insight, guidance, and direction as to how to navigate more positive energies, you know, than what we're seeing. Even if you are feeling a lot of restriction or limitation or tension and frustration in your life, there's good things happening under the surface. Keep doing what you're doing, making choices out of that moral integrity. And it's going to feel, like I said, a lot more positive on the other end of things. Lots of love and blessings. Thanks so much for tuning in.